Welcome back to Factorio. I'm Galdoc. We are playing space exploration with some quality of life mods. And we just left off last episode in a very silly spot. I had been having some shenanigans with the stacked stuffs, and I'm sure I'm going to find even more lurking in my inventory. But that's okay, because right now we got stuff to do. So I have blocked off... Ooh, that's not completely blocked off. Anyways, I'm not going to worry about that right this second. I have blocked off areas for production. These areas should be enough width so that I can actually come in here and create a pretty nice development zone for some of the intermediates of space exploration. I guess in Factorio in general, but space exploration in particular, because it actually introduces a number of brand new intermediates that need to be put, well, darn well everywhere. So in particular, I'm thinking of these little guys here that are on the belts I'm snipping right now. And I'm going to re-establish them pretty soon here. But I'll re-establish those up there. The motors tend to go into early game things. The electric motors go into slightly later things. And it maps somewhat, I think, to burners and stuff. But either way, it is a lot of intermediates that I'm having to deal with here. So good times. So I'm going to get rid of a bunch of these things in an as organized fashion as I can, but frankly, I'm just not, my heart is not in organization right now. I'm just trying to get stuff done. So let me put a, oops, am I out of you? That's fine. Let's do this. Yep, I don't need my train stuff, so let's get you guys in here. And I don't need this wood, so get you out of here. I certainly don't need this many electric engine units, so let's get you in there. In fact, let's get these things. Let's put all the electric engines that I can see in there, because I just want some sense of organization. As long as I put a little bit of a push towards organization, it should be fine, right? You can go in there. Okay, grab you, put you in the train chest that I just made over here. And that is definitely way too organized for the amount of work that it's going to do. But the reason that I'm doing this is because it will pay off dividends when I come back to this area later to actually rope in all of this junk. I may end up just doing a bot network thing. I may not actually, because honestly, or not, I'll use a bot network, but I may bot solution this or not. I don't know. But I want to at least try to stay organized. Okay, so here we go. I have all of those in there and lots of gears in here and stuff. So, yep, we're looking actually pretty good here. I'm happy with this. I don't need to be too crazy about it, but, you know, oh, there's still some of these. All right, well, I'll put that when I go up there. I'm definitely going to be having some of these assembling machines in my inventory, and I don't necessarily need them, but it is what it is. Okay, you guys will probably get used, and I'll just stuff you in my inventory because I want you out of here. So let's get the steel where it goes, which is evidently over here. Why are you over here? Come over here. And then bricks. I don't need that many bricks. I'm going to have some. I will need some concrete, so I have to remember which one of these I put the concrete in. Where is my concrete? It's not there. It's not there. You have a bunch of motors and stuff. You need to get out of there. So put you in here. And then you have a bunch of gears, which can go into here, and then so do you, which can go into here. Sticks and gears. May break my bones. I don't know. Definitely pull that steel out of there, and you can go in there. Oh, that's not what I wanted. There. Okay. Pull the steel there. Okay. And then I guess I can put some glass down here. Whatever. I don't really care. This is such a tedious task. I don't want to sit here and do this anymore. So, I'm done. I declare myself done. All right, so now I have to figure out some way of doing this. Now, here's the problem. These things take half a second to make, and they consume 2 iron plates, so that's pretty even. I can just figure that out easily. But making these things requires 0.6 seconds. So, let's think about what that means. Every single second, this is going to produce 2 iron gear wheels. So if I produce 2 iron gear wheels a second, that means that if I spend, or if I have, so the crafting speed, sorry, let me also, so I'm not factoring in the crafting speed, which sounds ridiculous, right? Because why wouldn't you factor in the crafting speed? It's because it's 0.75 and I just can't be bothered. Eventually it will be, I think, 1.25. I don't know why it's just not an even one. So let's see, what is it? It is 1.25. I don't know why the crafting speed is never just a nice even 1. Like I get the 1/2, you know, kind of, but then 0.75, 1.25, really? Just make it 1. But anyways, I guess they wanted my calculations to be spicier. Essentially, this thing, once I upgrade it, in fact, let me just get rid of all this junk because this is not what the inputs or outputs are truly going to look like. Let's get all this stuff out of here. Boop, boop. All you are out. Out of the pool. Oh, you two, and then you. Okay, so the thing is that I wanted to give myself, so this is the boundary actually. So this is actually, I'm going to bring this up just a tile. I don't want to build on this boundary here if I can help it, unless I'm essentially going straight across it. So I'm going to connect this so that it just goes up 1 more. And I'm not going to bother. I guess I could do this so that I'm not wasting a yellow belt. I'm not really worried about it. Oops, I didn't mean to pick up the box, but that's okay. Because evidently I could fit it all in my inventory. So, all right, there we go. Let's go here. And actually, I can't wait until I get red belts. I will go up and down the line and get rid of all these stupid underground yellow things that I'm having to deal with right now. I will absolutely do that in a heartbeat. My heart will beat, and that will be it. So I will actually pull this line, and I'm going to leave this whole area down here. If I feel like reconnecting it, I will, but I probably won't. But we'll see. Here we go. Is this completely backwards? That is. Okay, that's fine. Here we go. And so that's the belt box working. It doesn't seem to have power. Why don't you have power? You know what? That's good. I'll untangle that later. So here we go. Let's make some... So I did make some concrete. Where's all my concrete? I should have at least some on the bus, but I thought I had a dump chest of this somewhere. In fact, I'm certain I do. And I'm also certain I don't care, because I'll just end up using it anyways. So... Let's get a whole lot of iron. Okay, not iron. Concrete. There we go. So here we go. Is it you? I can't reach that. I think it's these. Is it you? It's you. It's you. There we go. So I'm not quite at pave the world just yet, but we're pretty close. I really do want some hazard concrete, and I don't want to have to sit here and make it, even though it actually is pretty dang fast. Let's just do it. Here's a whole bunch. Make me a ton. So let's go ahead and just do this right. I'm going to just have this hazard concrete go up here, because that's going to delineate the end of this thing here. I have no idea how far I really need to go, but that's evidently it. So let's go ahead and make this a little bigger so we can do this. I'll pick up the brick I'm going to get here. Bloop. And let's do this. In fact, let's zoom out a little bit so we can see. And I'm sure I'm going to need to extend this out just a bit, but that's all right. So then, here we go. Zoom out a bit. We have to make some more. Because even after this is done, I'm just going to... I know these are going to extend out some more, so oh well. Trees don't have any time for you, so you're going to have to move. Sorry. I know there's like all sorts of wonderful species living in there. Here we go. All right, so this is going to look good. So I'm going to have essentially a bunch of gears made that then feed a whole bunch of motor things. So let's see. I think if I'm going to do this as quickly as I possibly can, then I really want to have one belt of stuff. Let's just think about this. We don't really need to consider the whole fact that this is 0.5 and this is 0.6 with raw numbers. We can just consider ratios. What that means is that if I have... So the gears are producing... Oh, what percent faster? Basically, what I just want to figure out is how many extra gear machines I need to make in order to keep up with the motors. I should be able to figure this out, but I'm trying to do it live, so that's fun. Do I have the graphing or I don't have the calculator app. All right, well, you know what? I could just bring up a calculator on Windows, but whatever. Let's see. Hang on one second. We're getting a calculator. So right here. So the belts produce at 0.5 a second. The belts. The gears produce at 0.5 a second. The motors produce at 0.6 a second. And the thing is that this thing also requires iron plates. So I'm going to be consuming my iron in a fairly strange fashion. This is consuming 4 per second, and this is consuming 1 per sixth of a second. So that's, let's see, what's 1 per sixth of a second? 0.6 a second. Okay, so if I'm consuming 2.6 a second, that means one yellow belt by itself is only going to supply 15 divided by 2.6. So I can only supply about I can only use about 5.7 of these things going at any given time. If I have 5, let's see, 5 things going at 0.6 of a second, that means that I'm producing 5 times 0.6, which is 3. So 5 of those things will produce 3 per second. If I'm going to feed 3 of those things per second in terms of gears, then I need to have, well, if I'm going to produce 2 gears per second, then I just need 1.5. These numbers seem off. I feel like I'm doing something wrong here. That produces 2 a second. That produces... How much does this thing produce per second? It's not 0.6. That's what's going on here. I did that wrong. That was silly of me. So it's... The way you calculate this is 0.5 divided by 1 second, which is... No, this is wrong. 1 divided by 0.5. Duh. So that's 0.2. So then 1 divided by 0.6 equals 1.667. So 1 2/3 motor per second. Okay, that's what's going on here. So if I have 5 of these things going, 5 times 1.66, whatever, oops, not 99, 666, whatever. That will produce about, if I have 5 of these things going, I'll produce about 8.3 things per second. In order to feed that, I'm requiring to have, I need to have about 4.5 things. So 5 to 4 is not quite right. When does it become even? So if it's 1 2/3, that means that's 4/3. That means in order to do that, I'd have to have a multiple of 9, perhaps. So if I have 9 of these machines going, 9 times 1.666666666 should round pretty close to 15. So that's a yellow belt. That's what I'm trying to get to. So that means in order to feed 9 of these machines, you know what? I'm done. I don't care. This is a very simple calculation, and I'm making it way too hard because I'm trying to do it live. My brain. So this is technically called stoichiometry or dimensional analysis. So fun times. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to have multiple feeds going here. I'm going to make a pretty simple and straightforward expandable thing here. I'm pretty sure I could upgrade it in the future if I really want this to like go screaming into the night. So I think what I'll do is I'll just make something that's very simple and straightforward, and I can just sit here and play with these until I feel like I've got something right. But yeah, good times. Yeah, I've been told that space science requires more stuff in terms of just, you know, calculating things. But we'll see. We'll see. You know what? I'm not going to put in this hazard concrete. That's where stuff actually happens. This is the. I'd rather not have the hazard concrete taken up with this thing. So we'll have everything scoot over just one. Yep. I don't care. The problem is that the keybinds for scooting stuff over, I should probably move, but they're not next to my walking keys, so I have to like constantly move my hand across the keyboard. All right. Yeah, I'm actually looking forward to some of the more complicated things in space science. It looks pretty fun. All right, so why did I use the wrong ones? I bet I used the wrong ones. Here we go. So you produce gears for me. Here we go. There we go. So that's good. Now the thing is, I bet I consume more than this yellow belt, because the problem is that how many do I have on a yellow? How many? So these things consume 4 per second. That means I really can only support 4 on this yellow belt. So actually, let's just break this down a little bit. Here we go. Again, I don't have enough to feed all of it. My production will eventually increase as my densifier helps, but right now it's not doing as good. All right, so then what I'm going to do next is, let's see. I'm consuming that entire belt, and I can get another whole belt. Oh, for goodness sake. You and the concrete situation. All right, so because I'm going to need to do some more concrete stuff, I will keep my concrete here for right now, just because it's kind of in the way. Here we go. Now, the thing is that if I have these things feed directly into the next stage, it's not going to balance properly. So what I'm going to do is, instead of direct feeding, I'm just going to have, in fact, that's right, these things require, well, I think I'm going to get I think I got the inserter stack bonus, or I will shortly, so I won't need all that. But anyways, so these make gears. In fact, let's make a nice, you go down, here we go. And then once that's done, now we have those things going on. And the reason I'm doing it this way is because I want to be able to expand this column of gears out into whatever I want. So now let's go ahead. So this is going to need essentially the same kind of deal, but my guess is I'm going to need one more. So we'll see if that's right or not. Here we go. So then boom. So the thing is that sometimes these things can get held up if I don't do this perfectly. And what I'm thinking there is, I used to bring these things up all the way and then bring it back down so that it was nice and compressed or whatever. But I stopped caring about that. I think it'll be okay. Of course, there may be some reason that I should have cared, but live and learn. So here we go. Now this is going to be the iron line, so it's going to look a lot like this. So we'll go ahead and put you down. And then here we go. Then it's time for this stuff. In fact, I'm just going to go ahead and copy and paste it. Now, there is a picker mod, I think, that allows you to just wave your mouse pointer with as long as you have something on the cursor. And it will actually just place stuff over ghosts. So at some point I might install that, because this is getting a bit tedious, but we'll see. I feel like that's, again, a little cheaty, because it's essentially like having robots. Especially, oh man, I did a playthrough with that, and also long reach, you could just pretend like nothing mattered and just do whatever you wanted. It was pretty cool. All right, so now we actually have more of these motors than we know what to do with right now, except for the part where I do know what to do with them. Wahaha. Here we go. So you're going to curl under here. Here we go. Oops. So in terms of having these things stack with these belt boxes, I did email the author. I think I might have said this last stream, so maybe I don't need to repeat it. But I did actually email the author of the mod, or at least the person who's currently updating it. So we will be getting these things if he responds and then says yes. But he hasn't even replied, because he's busy. He is a human being that has many hopes and dreams and fears and wonders and all that stuff that he's going to have to, do stuff with. So, yep. Good times. It might be a she. I guess I don't know. I forget what their name is, but yeah, it's a thing. All right. So this, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that means this is the first one. So we're going to do this. It's okay. Whatever. Actually, no, I can't, because it's right where it needs to go. Here we go. So that's better. All right. So motors are now set up. And hey, look, it actually happened within the boundaries of this thing. I suppose I could move it up one more and make it look all symmetrical, and I don't care. I don't have the bots to support such an operation. I'm also going to put down a bunch of lights from now on. That's going to be like my thing. I'd like to have a lot of light. In fact, let me try to keep it nice and in here. All right, so, yep, that's good enough. Let's go ahead and put down some concrete so that it looks good. Again, I'm not going to pave everything, but I'm going to pave a lot of stuff. Here we go. Right there. Here we are. I just want this to look very nice, very sharp. Here we go, and boom. Oh, I missed like a little spot. Hey, you, guess what? Concrete. Good times. All right, so now it's time to set up electric motors. Let's go ahead, and so the thing is that I could sit here and, actually, you know what? That's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to peel off a little bit of this right here and have it just go straight across. And the reason I'm doing that is because this area over here for electric motors is going to use these as an input. And I don't feel like having it go all the way down here just to come all the way back. It'll just be easy enough to do this here. So let's go ahead and do this. So these electric motors require a ton of copper cable, if memory serves. 6, that's so much. And then it's like 0.8. That's just a lot. We definitely don't need to go too crazy with this. But again, I'm not going to perfect the ratios right now. It will be my homework that I'll assign to myself to actually sit down and calculate out what this should look like. But again, I'm going to do the same sort of deal where I essentially just take the, I'll have like an array up here that just make a ton of copper cable. And I'm going to have to occasionally, so let me say this correctly. The problem is that copper cable is less dense than copper. So I take 1 copper plate and I get 2 copper cable. So gears were okay because that just transfers over to here. So this belt essentially, this belt of iron down here essentially gets condensed down as it becomes gears. But this other one is going to fan out. So when I have the copper piped into here, I'm going to have to actually split the line into 2 so that I can have the right amount of, or so that I can actually consume that line, because the copper wire will output onto a line that's completely condensed. So just something that I'm going to have to keep in the back of my mind. So I'll do this way then. Here we go. Here we go. So let's do this, go here. Doesn't really matter what that looks like. It just needs to look good enough. There we go. All right, so then we're going to do this thing here. So let's get rid of that. Here we go. So this is how I'm going to do this. This is going to live here, and I'm going to have this line up here be my, this little 2-tile wide thing here be my, I guess, power backbone. So here we go. So let's just do this, because I want this to be approximately right. In fact, I'll just do this. You know, this looks pretty good, having this sort of deal. Yeah, that's great. Ooh, I like this idea. Oh, it's going to be messed up here just a little bit, but you know what? That's okay. Good enough. Oh, you're like 1 tile off. Are you kidding me? That's because my life is a lie. Okay, that's all right. Hopefully you'll be caught by like the first thing I put down here. So we'll see. We'll just go with that. And then coming out here, and then right here. Here we go. So this is looking pretty good. All right, so let me just think about how much it would take to consume this line, because that's probably the easiest way. If I'm having one of these things crafted per half second, that means that it's consuming 2 copper plate per second, and I'm feeding it a yellow belt, which is essentially 15 items per second, which means I will consume these things at a rate of approximately, or 7.5 of these machines will consume it completely. However, this machine is a blue machine, so it only works at a quarter of that, which means that I need, at that rate, which means that I have to add on a third again the amount. So 7.5, a third of that is about 2 and something I don't care about, so we'll call it just an even 10. So that's that basically. I probably did something wrong there, and I would love to hear about it in the comments below. I am a math guy. I just am not a human calculator. Turns out that that's like a fun fact. Math people are not human calculators. All right. Here we go, and that'll be fine. And that's just going to consume this one line here, and I'm not going to go ahead and worry too much about that second line. I just want to make sure that I have space for it and that I account for it before I start the building process. All right, so you become copper cable, and down we go. Down we go. Way down we go. I probably did something wrong here. This doesn't feel right. This I feel like, well, I guess these are, once this turns into the faster machines, this might not be right. But then again, I'll also probably have red belts feeding these suckers. So you know what? Whatevs. Whatevs. Why aren't you fed by power? Did I snip it somehow? Oh, there's probably some, when I was putting it down, I heard a sound effect and I was like, what was that? I bet I know what it was now. All right, do I have the inserter bonus thing taken care of already? Because I forget. I bet I don't. That's in the inserter capacity bonus 3. Oh, I do. Okay, so it's 2. So, but that's only, that allows, this one has the second plus here, which is the non-stack inserter capacity bonus. That's what I was after. Okay, so these things produce 2 per craft. I was thinking about this down there with the gears, but I had forgotten whether or not I had actually achieved that. So, here we go. Let's see. So this one, because there is so much of it, I'm actually going to have this thing come down. Now, these things are consumed at a rate of 6 per second. That's insane. That means 3 of the, or 6 per craft, I should say. So that means 3 of these things are going to be feeding here this amount, except the numbers are so funky. Bleh. Whatever. I'll just make some, and then if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't, and I'll just deal with whatever happens. So let's do this one. Let's go ahead and just, I know this isn't quite perfect, because I could make this perfect if I wanted to. I wanted to have the little wrap under sort of strategy that I do here. Here we go. And I wanted to do it right in the middle, but it was 5 and 5, so I can just do this. That'll be fine. Okay. So now let's bring in the line of you. I just went for a little ride there. Let's have you go one more. Here we go. In fact, I think I can... Ooh, I'm out of space, but I can do that. Ooh, you're pretty. I like it. Let's do one more, but I have a full inventory, so... Oh, that's because I have a ton of this iron junk. You, guess what? Iron junk. Good times. Good talk. All right, so then you are going to come through here. Let's have you do here like this. Oh, I guess I do need to go the other way because these things are going to come up, and I don't want the problem of... Okay, so many little problems to consider when building some of these things. I don't want the materials to be going in different directions, because if one end ends up sucking down the last stuffs from some belt, and the other one does the same thing, but from the other direction, you have stuff that could have crafted that won't. So good times. Okay, so I guess this one's going to do the same thing where it outputs in the top, so that's fine. So let's go ahead and just do this. I don't know how many to make. I'll just put down some. Now, I know there are hell mods and things like that, and I will start breaking those out when it starts getting more and more detailed. But right now, I'm just not super worried about it. I just need something to work, and that's... I just snipped it again. What did I do? It's shift. Okay, so I'm shift holding it. I thought... All right, well, that's evidently not something I needed. Oh, I know what I'm doing. When I'm shift holding it and I'm swiping, I'm putting down the recipes on the assemblers. So yeah, that's what's going on. Okay, well, now I understand what's happening. Alrighty. There we go. Oops. See, this is what I'm talking about, why I don't want these things to necessarily be off by too much. So we're just going to go ahead and do that. That's okay. That red one's fast enough to pick it up. Okay. I just don't want this last one to starve. I'm starving. I'm starving. No. Okay, we're good. I got a little dramatic there, but we're good now. All right, here we go. This is looking fantastic. This is now a bit more finalized, actually, because this is just expandable. Like, that's what you want to build in Factorio, is stuff that is expandable. And that is what I am doing here. So this shouldn't take up too many of these stacks, but it will take up a few. Let's go ahead and just do this. Boop. How many over do I need to go? One more, and then one more, and then here. Okay. We're just going to make this symmetric. Okay, I guess I'm out. But I have more. See, the thing is that I kind of have a sense for how large this stuff is, but, you know, I think that it's okay if I end up running a little bit low on this stuff. I have an entire belt of this, you know, concrete, so I'm not too worried. But, yeah, here we go. This may not reach the end. Oh, and I just did this thing where I have a little bit left over. Oh, can I do it? I got 33 left. Is that it? Wait, I have 5. What? I can just not do it and we'll be fine. Okay, so that will look good. Double up the long inserters. That's possible. I suppose I could do that. Because these things definitely require a higher level of input, don't they? So this last one is not going, no matter how much I double up, I don't think it's going to work too well, but that's okay. I can go ahead and just do this. Yes, doubling up the inserters is definitely a good idea. Someone in Twitch just mentioned that, so thank you very much. That was well thought. So let's do this. That one's going to be off by 1, but that's okay. I don't really care because that underground is more important that it works. All right, here we go. Here we go. This is looking good. Now, the question of, do I want this array to continue doing what it was doing? And the answer is, yeah, sure. But you know what? You're going to look good while you're doing it. You're getting red stuff, and I'm not a red, what are they called? Inserters. So, yep, you aren't needed for right now. You're just holding an armada, but you are my, like, everything has gone wrong in my base little area there. So, yep, you just keep doing what you're doing. Grab those, and now it's time for the green circuits. So I hope I gave myself enough room here for green circuits, because there's no way I'm doing anything more here. So, like, I'm not moving this stuff again. I'm done. So either this is awesome or it's not, and that's just, it is what it is. So I can't consume enough bricks. The thing is that when you actually look at how many stone tablets, which is one of the ingredients of the green inserter, sorry, the green inserters, the green circuit boards, this thing outputs 8 stone tablets per craft. So I need approximately 2 to fill up a belt. If it was a yellow belt and they were at 1, I need about, well, yeah, 3 in order to fill up a yellow belt if it's the blue sort of 0.75 crafting speed ones. So that's consuming 6 brick per second or something. There's no way I'm going to actually use up an entire brick line here. So again, when I have the brick come in, I'm just going to do this thing where I split it off, and as I craft this stuff, I might have some happening later on down the line. So in fact, let's just get that process started here. Now, I don't have the brick condensed because I never really bothered with it, because I have a whole line of stuff that I'm going to have to worry about before I get to that. I just wanted to not put the cart before the horse. Which is kind of an old-timey saying, but you know what? Oh, well. Let's see. So those will probably end up moving a little bit, but that's okay. So let's see. Where do I want this to come in? So I'll have my little splitter guy here. Is that how I have it down here? Yeah, that's pretty much accurate. I guess I can move it over 1. Wait a second. Did I see 1 tile missing? I see a tile of stuff missing. You, sir, are unacceptable. You, sir, are not okay. What just happened? There was more stuff that wasn't done. Oh, the horror. Oh, well, that's fine. I'll come back to it later. Maybe. Let's see. So you're going to be my little brick thingamabop. So you're going to come in here and be brick. In fact, you know what? I want all this belt back. Okay, so that now I can see where the little gaps are. Oh, it's complaining because I'm full. You know what? You can just keep complaining because I am in possession of belt boxes, which will let me stuff the stuff down, or dump the boxes, and I can just put the stuff where it goes. Okay, just get this out of here. Go. I don't want to see you anymore. You're tearing this family apart. Okay. I think the last thing on my, nope. Last thing is not that. So I haven't really, I probably should look it up. I don't know how to like scroll through all of my different stuffs that I've got produced right now. So I'll look that up at some point too, because that's a useful keystroke and I just haven't been bothered to do it, and I probably should. That's enough space to leave for the unstacking belt box when I actually do go ahead and put that in. Again, I'm not too worried about the bricks being super indensified because consuming them is actually fairly challenging. Let's get that little key thingy out of there. Here we go. Okay, so I need 1, 2, 3 things producing stone tablets right now, and that's basically it. Now the thing is that it's stone tablets and then what else? Stone tablets and copper cable. So in principle, I should do this thing where I have things set up. Oh, how is it done in the other playthroughs? I forget. I think I just have copper cable machines directly feeding in a 2 to 3 ratio. So what I'll do is I'll have a manufacturing area for this just to sort of act as the... oh gosh, let's think. Let me just build a mock-up real quick, okay? Because I just want to see what this looks like and how much room I have. Haha, that's not much. The problem is here that I need to have 1, 2... and then 1. This is how wide this manufacturing area needs to be. So what I'm going to do is instead of doing any of this crazy stuff with trying to split off on the side here, I'm actually going to split off in a different way. Okay, so let me explain all the thoughts I just had. I just discovered that it is what I want to build in this area is too wide. So I'm going to have to just put it in the center and then move down some. That's fine. But what that means is I'm going to have a nice big old area here for all of my brick development. But I think if I move it here, then I should still be okay. Now, I can, in fact, I'm going to get that 1 tile back because the problem is that tiles are very precious in this little area here. And while it's maybe capital N is not the word, I would not use a capital N on the word necessary, but I definitely would want to not waste space if I don't necessarily have to. So what I'll do is I'll have this split off, and this is going to go up to another manufacturing area once I have enough demand for these bricks. But in the meantime, they're just going to come up the back here. And you know what? I'm going to put you on a hotbar somewhere. I'll put you here. That's good enough. Here we go. So let's just go 1, 2, and 3. Here we go. There's going to be a lot of in-place upgrades here. So in terms of inputs, these things really only need 1. Like, that's fine. But then outputs, 8 per second is just nuts. So I'm going to fill each side of these things with outputs because there's just no way you can not. Now that is going to be a challenge because the problem is that I need to actually not overfill either one side or the other of my belt. Such problems. Do you have... You do have module slots. I can probably just crank out a couple of modules that... You know what? I'm going to do this. We are just going to have 2, and if I'm not quite filling that belt, then so be it. But the reason that's important is because what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to have these things... Here we go. I'm going to have these things fill like this. Oops. And then that'll just come straight up out of here, and then boom. So this is just gonna, it's just gonna have to be what it's gonna be. I think I can do this. In fact, I don't know if I need that one either. That's kind of cool. I can fill all that stuff up. All right, but I also don't feel like I'm gonna get the outputs for these things either. So you know what? Whatevs. We'll keep it looking good. It's a little wasteful to put that extra pole there, but I want this to look good. Wait, what do I need these outputs for? What am I thinking? I have all the outputs right here. Oh my gosh, I'm getting tired. Okay, but then this other brick line I can send up here, and I can actually build. How much space am I going to need for this? Because I really don't want to overbuild this, but I also want to make sure that I leave myself enough room. So in principle, if I wanted to do this, then what I would do is something like this and it would come through. That's fine. And then I could build another one. Not quite another one. So it really is just going to be 3. Okay, that's fine though. Okay, as long as I have enough room, we're good. In fact, I could just, for the moment, so that I do get my perfectly full line here, just do this. Here we go. This is a terrible idea. Let's do it this way. There we go. Boop. All right, good enough. So let's have this come down here. And so what is a good way of doing this? I'm actually going to, I'll give myself a little bit of space here for that little previous area. Just start building these things right here. But the thing is that in order to do that, I'm going to actually pull these up one side. I don't want this to, let me see. That's probably about it. So let's just space this out. 1, 2, and then 1, 2. Yeah, that's about right. Okay. So then you guys need to be copper cable, though, not this stuff. So you actually are going to go up top. And then I'm going to have to bring in the copper cable somehow. I've already filled in this little area here. Well, maybe I just go the other direction, but then I got all sorts of problems. So if I do this... So the problem is that I need copper to come in on one side. It can't be down here because I've already taken up this little spot. So I'll bring in the copper from the top. But if I bring in the copper from the top, that means this... That's okay. You know what? Whatever. The problem is that if I bring in the copper from the top, then the output of the green circuits has to go out from that side too. But not really. What I can do is I can just do something that's a little silly. I'll bring in the copper on the top, and I'll have the output going through the top, and I'll just connect them as they will, right? I'm not going to stress too much about it. However, this does present something of an issue. So how much was this? How much of this is necessary? This is definitely necessary. That doesn't have to be right here. Let's see. So the reason I say this is necessary is because it's a dual line. I can't put my normal solution here. Darn it, me and my double lines. Oh well. So what I'll do is I'll just grin and bear it. So we'll do this. We'll have you... Oh god. All right. Well, it's all these darn motors. I don't need these motors. Get out of here. Who takes motors? Do you like motors? Hold on. Come here. No, click on the thing. No. You? Do you like motors? Come on, you know you like motors. Who likes motors? I got motors. We're like, it's the motorcade. Do you like motors? No. Of course not. Who would like motors? Do you like motors? You do. Oh, you're good. I can just put a whole bunch of motors in there. Okay, that's good enough. I think it's good enough. I hope it's good enough. I have a ton of iron. I don't need this iron. Time for another dump area for the iron. Because I just don't care. 1. Nope, shift 1. There we go. 5. And then keep just a little bit. Okay, good enough. Okay, so I have this coming out here, but I need to get all this iron out of the way. You are precious enough that I'm not going to waste you, but at the same time, I'm not going to stress. And you're full. Of course you're full. All right. Actually, let me move you up one. As anathema as it is for me to want to mess with these belts, considering how little they stack. Here we go. So it's funny. It's denser for the belts, but it also means your inventory turns into something of a nightmare. Actually, so let's do this. I think I kept you right along this little path here. So let's put you here. And then do that. And hopefully I'll, again, catch you with a power pole. But you know what? I don't think I would normally. So I'll just go ahead and put you here. All right. So now we got copper plates coming out here. So we got copper and we got this stuff. And what we need is an output to come down this way. Here we go. Now, the thing is, I can make my green line very dense, but again, that's a half line, and I don't want to make this too much of a nightmare because this is already pretty nightmarish. I'm going to have, if I do that, the need for blue belts. So I think that I'm not going to indensify my, is that a word? My green circuits. So we're just going to have you come through here and do this. And then I'm going to have to like make sure that I can figure out how to, oh, what is this? All right, well, what they call this is a logistical challenge. That's okay. Why do you, oh yeah, you're taking stuff in. Okay. There we go. And then just a little bit farther. So we can just go straight across here. There we go. And then you become the green line. So let's go ahead and do this. Here we go. So that's good. Actually, let's bring you down to one more even. Oh, stop it. And then that is the line going up. There isn't anything left here. This is all, I can actually pick up all this belt. Oh, so good. Such delicious belt. I'm kidding. It's a joke. I hate it. This is the yellow belt. This is not the good dense stuff. And I'm about to run out of inventory space. Oh, but I managed to get it done. Yeah, I mean, I knew it was going to, I was so confident in my lightning fast ability to determine the density with which my inventory was being intensified. So, let's get this in there because that just needs to stack up more. Clearly, that's what needs to happen here. Let me go grab some more of these blue thingambops. Blue, what's the word? Assembly machines. Because clearly that's what I need right there. Let's see. Sorry, I got sidetracked for a second. Oh my God, I made a ton. Okay, well, all right, party's over. You just stop. Just quit making these. I definitely did I mean to do that? I probably did. Goodness knows that I do that sort of thing from time to time where I'm just like, hey, let's overproduce the living heckadoodle out of something. Pardon my language, saying heckadoodle, I understand, is a ribald term. It's like parsnifulant, which is also not a thing. All right, get out of here. Okay. Now, I have been told there is no such thing as overproducing. There is only underconsumption. Yeah, that's fair. I can accept that. Like I'm not going to argue. Sounds good to me. All right, so we are going to have a silly belt swap. So the problem is that if I'm going to have this thing expand up a little bit, then this belt is going to have to move, but that's trivial when I do that. When I come in here to build some more stuff in there, I can just do that. All right, so let's go ahead and do this. So this is going to have to come down. So this is silly, but, you know, whatevs. This comes down here. And, ooh, those dump chests are going to have to actually probably move. Silly things that they are. All right, so then you are going to come up here. Let's just do this. What? Oh, it's filling up that little gap. I was like, why aren't they flowing anymore? Why did you stop? Okay, no, grab you. Let me give myself a little bit of space here just because this space is pretty inexpensive to have. So here we go. So you're going to come down here, and it's going to output onto the far belt. Here we go. This is a pretty common setup. I'm not at all going to claim that I have any originality here, but I am going to say that this will do just fine. And then you guys, oops, you guys need here and here, and then let's go ahead and do this and this. One, it always takes 3, no matter what I do. It takes 3 of these things, but I'll put a light right in the middle. Doot. There you go. So you guys become copper cable. Boom. You guys become, oops, this recipe for the green circuits. And let's just continue this on. And you guys can scooch. Doot, 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 doot. There you go. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. And then let's build some more of this. And I don't know how much of this stuff I want to build, but I do know that I want to make sure that I don't have to come back here for a while. So let's just build 4 and call it good. I don't feel like thinking, so let's go ahead and do this. Wait a second. You can tell I don't feel like thinking because I have the belts going the wrong way there. Okay, let's try that again. I do feel like thinking, so I'm going to copy and paste this. There. Make sure I don't curse myself. Here we go. And is that tree in the way? I got bad news for you, tree. You're all like ancient and wise, but now gone. So, yep. I might be a bad person. I might just be trying to get off a planet that I've crash landed on so that I can go explore the stars. You can't take the stars from me. You don't own the sky. It's no man's sky. Yeah, I don't know. Sure, someone's going to hate me because I just mentioned the game No Man's Sky. I've played it for like a few minutes and I was like, someone accidentally the entire UI. So maybe it's just my inexperience with it, but I was a little nonplussed. All right, so let's go ahead and do this. Get all these things going here. So tedious. Not tedious. Tedious is the wrong word. Oh, I did run out of these blue inserter guys. Come back here. I need more. You know, take those 5. Let's get them out of here. We're going to need a whole bunch. We're going to need a whole bunch. All right. Why isn't this whole thing hooked up? Do I need to go like one tile over here? Whatever. I'll just put another one here. There. Whatever. That looks kind of in the pattern, so sure. We'll do that. Here we go. Here we go. Oh, no. You're in the middle there. Here we go. Almost done. We almost have tons and tons of green circuits coming. Don't worry. I see that little thing there that needs to get taken care of. Boom. Here we go. Now, what else? What have I forgotten? All these things seem to be active. Okay, that's good. So what I'll do is I'll have my little underground come in here and let out there, and then I will do this. Here we go. And that's going to even that out. So now we have a full belt of green-ish coming out. I don't know if it's a full belt, but we have a bunch of belts. We have a bunch of green coming out. Let me go grab some more concrete tiles, and we can pave that area. All right, feeling pretty good, feeling pretty good. We got the intermediate area set up, something that was a little bit tedious but needed to happen. Do you have a lot of coal? Well, you might get taken care of. Do I need all this stuff? There's not too much. Those are the boxes I set up a few episodes ago that were there primarily just to empty the belts as I started enforcing an intensified belt, but then I kind of didn't finish that because it turns out that some intermediates cannot be intensified. Oh, that is nowhere near enough, but you know what? Let's just throw it down. And I'm going to actually just do this the really, really simple way. The problem is that I didn't do this before because I tend to walk over belts, but if I walk here, it should be okay. And of course, you can just kind of see how much of this I can actually pave because of my crafting distance. Oh, that's awful. That's terrible. Oh, golly. Great. Googly moogly. Let's get some more concrete here. And we're gonna try to get rid of that eyesore and pretend that it never happened. Well, actually, no, it's okay that if it happened, it's okay. It's okay. It's if we don't fix it, then it becomes like a stain on our reputation, and we cannot afford that. We cannot abide that. We cannot allow that. That's like 3 words that start with the letter A that we're not going to let happen. So that's kind of like, that's pretty cool. All right, here we go. I cannot wait until I get the next level of concrete. The reinforced concrete, because that is going to be a lot of fun. I can start doing some really cool looking patterns with the concrete when I have something that can overlap. And, you know, you just move a little faster too, so that's pretty sweet. All right, let's go ahead and get this hazard concrete out here, and this area will be good enough. You never say done. I mean, I guess you could, and I probably have, but it's not really done. It's just good enough for right now. Oh, it's going the other direction. This is like that problem when you have like the person being fired from the M&M factory for throwing away the W's. Now we're going to fix that. Okay, here we go. Now what? Oh, yeah, down here. There was this giant mess and the concrete. So let's go ahead and fix this. And let's fix this. There. There we go. There we go. You're good. We Gucci like the handbag. All right. So now that we have that all sorted out, now we have this thing very well fed, and the mall is already pretty darn well stocked. It's doing good. So the question then is, what next? So we have science that we definitely want to get going again. The mall is looking pretty good. It's not great in terms of there's still stuff that I would like it to make, but I think that I might not have enough intermediates, because there's the things that I want to make next start requiring stuff that I haven't made, like batteries, and I haven't put dynamite on the thing here. And partially that's because, guess what I haven't made yet? That is the oil refining area. And the oil refining area is most certainly going to be coming up very soon. Let's see how this patch is doing. We're at just under 100,000, so that can last for a little bit. But that is going to be completely demolished when I set up my oil refining area. So I do need to set up the oil refining. But the next thing that I need to do is to set up the coal drop-off. So I'm going to build the general shape of the copper drop-off, just because I want to have that sort of done. And so I can't actually overwrite it or destroy it. It's accounted for. It's good to go. And I only have one drop-off here per thing. What I would really like to have done... Oh, I need to repair all that junk, don't I? Do I really? Well, let me not walk out here with my inventory open, so I don't just meander onto the tracks. Oh, this isn't too bad. These are just minor damages. Okay, so I think that I'm going to... so ideally, I would have been able to have like multiple stacks going up here, so I could have multiple drop-off points. But the problem is, of course, that is just a very, very space-consuming process, and I don't have a ton of space. But I feel like I could design something if I tried. So I will keep that in mind, because I want to have, in the end, multiple drop-off points for everything. Here we go. Make sure I'm not going to get hit. Okay. But for the moment, I think we'll just deal with what we've got. Let's see. All right. So I'm going to create the coal drop-off. That's my next major project. That's going to require me to use up a lot of stone and throw down a bunch of landfill in this area, because this is just going to have to get destroyed. This whole pipeline that goes to my refining area here is completely worthless, because it's not refining anything right now. I disassembled that. So we can just pull this up, and of course I don't have enough inventory space. Ah, I have the packed steel. That's what's going on here. All right, well, I can come tear that up in a bit. And then what I'm going to do is, once that's all torn up, I'm going to landfill a bunch of this in. I might actually just try to strategically landfill in only what I need, because this stone patch is very meager. And I think what's going to happen is, right after I fill this in, so that's going to be copper right here, and then beneath that is going to be coal. I should put stone right beneath that, because that's going to feed into here. But I think instead what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to bring stone up here. But again, that's the area for science, so I don't know. Well, for right now, I don't have to think too hard about it. If I really, really have a problem, I can do stone processing out here if I have to, and then just belt it in, because that's far, but it's not like across the map far, and it won't be that many belts either. What I really just need to have is the stone come in here and have this processing area. I don't know that I need a ton of glass, and I don't know that I need a ton of brick, I need enough, but I need not like 1,000. What I do need a ton of is concrete. So I guess I do need a bunch of brick because concrete goes into... so I take brick and turn that into stone wall. Then I take the brick and also turn that into... where's the concrete? Oh, here it is. And I take that brick and I turn it into concrete, and then I take both of those two things and I turn that into a concrete wall. So lots of concrete and then stone walls. And then I think steel wall. I turn all that stuff into steel. I just add steel plates. So at that point, I'm done with the brick. So that's going to be another very large consumer on top of landfill of the stone. You don't need stone for that many recipes, but you tend to need a lot of the recipes you need. The recipes made by that. And a cat is here to say hello. And unfortunately, the cat is... Oh, God! Ow, that hurt so much. I'm bleeding. The cat just jumped up and failed at her jump and then clawed me. Oof, okay. Yep, we're going to have to trim these guys. Okay, so unfortunately, she was also meowing goodbye, which means that it has been an hour. And I want to thank you for joining me and hope that you will join me next time. I'm going to go get cleaned up, and I will talk to you later. Thank you for coming, or thank you for watching. Bye.